Most smartphones rely on capacitive touchscreens, where your finger becomes a key part of the electronics. There are different kinds of capacitive touchscreens, and they can vary from device to device. But one basic design is a sheet of glass containing a grid of hair-thin lines of a conductive metal, like indium tin oxide. The grid lines in one direction are called the driving lines, which provide a constant electric current, and the lines in the other direction are called the sensing lines, and detect this electric current. At every point where the sensing lines and driving lines cross, there's a specific electrostatic field, which is registered as neutral by the processor in your smartphone or computer. But that all changes when something conductive comes along and touches it, like your finger. See, the human body has a natural capacitance, which means our bodies can conduct electric current and can store electric charge. So when your finger touches the screen, the charge in the screen is drawn around that point, distorting the electrostatic field. The electricity doesn't actually flow through your finger. The electrostatic field feels the effects of your electric charge and redistributes itself accordingly. Even really small changes are detected by the processor, which can then interpret the patterns you're making, whether it's a tap or a slide. Because the lines of the grid are so thin, capacitive touchscreens are super accurate, and some versions can process multiple touches at a time. But they won't work if you have gloves on, because the cloth isn't conductive, unless your gloves have those special fingertips with metal fibers inside. Plus, something like sweat can affect how electricity is conducted across the screen, because it's full of salts. It's all about the materials that can affect the electrostatic field generated inside your screen. So the next time you're texting on a smartphone or scrolling through internet forums on a tablet, just remember...
It's a pretty standard resolution in the mid-range segment, although there are many better screens when we speak about high-end phones. On top you also have the earpiece, and then you have a single physical key on the bottom surrounded by two capacitive buttons, which you can see right here. And then on the bottom part you have the mic, while on the right side you have a lock-unlock key right here, and the micro SD card slot, which supports up to 32 gigabytes of micro SD cards. And on the left side you have the volume rocker, while on top you have a 3.5-inch standard headset jack, and then the micro USB port for syncing and charging the device, which is nicely protected with a lid. And we have the white version right here, so you have the white back cover. The only difference between the white and black one is the back cover. And here you can find a 5-megapixel autofocus camera with LED flash and speakerphone on the back, which produces pretty nice quality of a sound and of music when you play back some music. So basically that's the design of the Samsung Galaxy Ace. It has a solid feel to it, a light weight of just below 4 ounces. So let's jump to the interface and see what else the phone can offer. The interface of the Galaxy Ace is pretty much your standard Android Pro experience, but this time tweaked by Samsung with its TouchWiz UI in its third version. As you can see, starting from the drop down in the home menu, you have in the home screen you have 5 shortcuts to different settings like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, auto rotation, and silent mode.
Let's take a closer look at one to see how it works. The electrical current reaches the cells via conductive surfaces, in this case aluminum on one side and copper on the other. And just as in every other battery, there's a positive and negative electrode called the cathode and the anode. The cathode, or positive electrode, is made of a very pure lithium metal oxide. The more uniform its chemical composition, the better the performance and the longer the battery life is. As you'd expect, the anode, or negative electrode, is located on the other side. It's made of graphite, a form of carbon with a layered structure. The battery is filled with a transport medium, the electrolyte, so that the lithium ions carrying the battery's charge can flow freely. This electrolyte must be extremely pure and as free of water as possible in order to ensure efficient charging and discharging. To prevent a short circuit, there's a layer placed between the two electrodes, the separator. To the tiny lithium ions, the separator is actually permeable. The experts call this property microporosity. Let's take a look at what happens when a battery is charged. The positively charged lithium ions pass from the cathode through the separator into the layered graphite structure of the anode, where they're stored. Now the battery is charged. When the battery discharges, that is, when energy is removed from the cell, the lithium ions travel via the electrolyte from the anode through the separator back to the materials, along with customized formulations, lead to longer battery life and better